All right, let's jump in. Let's jump into the pressers, Brad, because we got a bunch of them to cover. We got Cignetti on day one. Shout out to I believe it was Daniel Flick. Shout out to Daniel Flick for asking this question because I've literally openly asked this question multiple times. He said, "Where did Ro Hardy come from?" Basically, was the question.
Yeah, we have no idea actually. He just popped in and out. He just spawned and was like, "Oh, greatest player of all time, 99." He should be 99 in NCAA. He might be the best player on the team that no one knows about, but he's a true sophomore. So it's like he's just a little younger, a little more raw, but he's our youngest starter on the team. And yeah, love that he's on campus. 0-star recruit out of some sort of naval academy, but he's from Florida. So I don't know.
Yeah, he was found and scouted by none other than Brian Haynes, who's surprised. And Cignetti said he has a bright future.
Yeah, of course he does. Super athletic, reads defenses very flawlessly, especially as a freshman. I mean, he was making so many plays in that Michigan State game. Yeah, he's awesome. Excited for his season this year. And yeah, I'm calling my shot now. He's going to get a pick 6 in the Oregon game.
I love it. He's probably going to get a pick 6. He's probably going to have 15 pick 6s.
He might have it.
the ball just finds that guy somehow. It's insane.
Like, these guys don't know ball when they don't have him on the Big Narek watch list, or what's the Nagurski, because he's going to have 15 pick 6s, 120 tackles. He's going to be 10 forced fumbles. He's going to be insane. At least based on the rate in which he was doing it last year in terms of snaps per pick 6s.
Somebody, God, I definitely don't have it in front of me. But somebody went through and did his like full game, or like if he had like 300 snaps or whatever, his stats, and he would have had like 7 picks and 5 forced fumbles. he would have won the Heisman. Like, he would have won the Heisman. Like, it would have been like, obviously that's not realistic. The output is, but like when you have somebody, like I go back to the spring game with Aiden Fisher's comments. When you have somebody like Aiden Fisher who's played so much football, just like flabbergasted at like how you just end up around the football all the time, like that's just the next level ability to find the ball.
Yeah, he's special, man. He's special. And only at 5'11", 225, you got to imagine with those measurables, we get 4 years of that guy. 4.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Bright future. They asked Sig how he's adjusting to Bloomington. He said everything in his house works now. He bought a house from one of Bob Knight's friends, and he said that not that everything in there was broken, because like it was kept really well. Like the guy kept everything well. He just did, like him and his wife didn't know how to use anything. He said now they know how to use all the gadgets in the house.
That's funny. Yeah. I thought he already had a house, so he moved.
No, he's talking about his house, from the house he bought.
Okay, the one that he got last year. Okay, cool.
Sure. They asked him basically about, I can't remember if this was this presser or the other presser, but basically about like what's it like coming back after last year, and he's like, there's a lot of new faces, but everybody starts at 0. But the Sig spiel of like, talked about Pat Coogan. He's a perfect fit. Gushed about Pat Coogan. Like we'll get to Coogan's presser in just a second, but it's like you can't say enough good things about Pat Coogan. The dude's just a natural leader, and like when you have Sig, who like doesn't mention people by accident, just like every second he gets tries to heap praise on this guy, like that tells you everything you need to know.
He's going to be our anchor this year. I mean, that when we got that commitment, we knew we were in for a special year. Like that was a piece that definitely needed to be upgraded, was upgraded, and upgraded in spades. The dude started in the national championship game just last year. You really can't get any better than that. I don't think you get to the national championship game with some scrub center. I don't think it just doesn't happen.
Full-blown agree. And Sig also said they're looking for consistency in performance, both individually and collectively.
Naturally.
Yep. But Coogan's presser was phenomenal. So they asked Coogan about Drew Evans and Khalil Benson being back. He said in the spring they were there mentally. He said it's a big credit to those guys for being around and trying to be as involved as they can be. And he said playing next to Evans is great. That's something that you heard from him. You heard that from Carter Smith. It's really nice to have Drew Evans back on the field. Not that Ajani wasn't capable. Obviously, he's very capable, but Drew Evans has played a lot of productive football.
Play the upperclassmen,
Yep.
Play the guy.
On Carter.
Play the guy who was the starter on the Joe Moore nominated O-line last year. It's just huge to have him back because I think that was a big question mark going into last year was the guard play. Like, what is that going to look like? Because we knew what we were getting from Carter Smith. We figured Wedig would probably take a step just given his measurables and Bob Bostad. Guard was really like, can we get interior push with Kadick and Evans and Bray Lynch now that Kidwell's out? That was a big question mark, and they answered it in spades. Yes, we're going to run it down your throat. Even if you're Nebraska, it doesn't give up any rushing touchdowns. We're going to put up 5. How about that? So, yeah, Drew Evans.
They asked him about Carter Smith. He said it starts with his build. He's athletic. He's smart. Called him an anchor.
Who? Sorry, I missed
Carter
that.
Smith.
Yeah. I just called Coogan an anchor. What the hell? We got 2 anchors on the O-line. What if we have 5 anchors on the O-line? How awesome.
We've got at least 2. At least two. They asked him about Fernando Mendoza's IQ. He said he could tell right away off the bat that he's a smart kid. But he also said he's never seen him take a math test. So he's like, I don't know how you want me to tell you how smart he is, but he's like, he's a good football player. Yeah. He's like, I don't know. Like, can he do 2 + 2? I'm not sure, but he can play football.
There's different types of intelligence, you know.
I know they're like, it's funny because you can see like they're trying to dig for like a different answer of like, yeah, this dude's like this or he does this, and he's just like, nah, like, I don't know, he's probably pretty smart. Yeah, but like I've never watched him do school. Like,
he might be able to read, probably. I think. I would hope.
They asked him, how is it being at Indiana? Like, is it like weird? Could you have ever seen this coming? Maybe coming up at like in your recruiting process? And he said no, but he's grateful it happened, which makes a lot of sense. Like if you think about Pat Coogan while he was being recruited to Notre Dame, so this is 6-7 years ago, probably. Like that's when we're freshmen in college.
Yeah. Wow.
Like that was a wildly different Indiana football. He's a senior. So he was being recruited as a sophomore or junior in high school, presumably.
Yeah. No, good call out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, who'd have never thought about joining IU, let alone being like, oh, I'm at IU. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, I'm actually competing for a national championship here. I'm not actually.
That's wild.
Getting a free education and just calling it a day.
Collecting a paycheck.
Like, trying to do something. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I'm glad we're here. They asked him what he liked about playing offensive line. He said it's cerebral, which is, I love that type of answer from a guy who's like very clearly as physical as Pat Coogan is. Like, it's a thinking man's position. You have to be able to think and thought. And the dude is just
center, especially because they're the ones calling out everything. Usually.
Yeah. On Coach Bostad, he said he's very intentional in his work. There's no gray area. He's extremely detail oriented. He knows how to get the best out of guys. He knows how to work them, and he's purposeful in everything that he does. And that's like I love Bob Bostad. Every time people talk about him, it just makes me love the guy even more. He's just hard-nosed, old school offensive line football coach. Somebody said that when all the guys were like when it rained the other day and everybody went inside to practice, Bostad kept the offensive line outside.
I love that. Last week. I mean, say what you want about Tom Allen. You know, he definitely missed a few hires here and there, but when he hit big.
That is
he
true.
Hired Alabama's head coach to be offensive coordinator. I mean, got Bob Bostad
and their defensive coordinator and their strength and conditioning staff.
Yeah, and then they all got and now they're all at Bama. It's insane. And great that we were able to keep Bostad. I'm sure Kalen DeBoer was kicking the tires around Bob Bostad as well. But glad we were able to keep him, and I think he loves it in Bloomington. So I think he'll be here for a long time, and that's a key piece to this program is Bob Bostad. Because like we said, when you talk about stacking weeks, stacking years, stacking days, whatever, big part of that is getting our trenches better. That's probably like almost the most important part. And we have great coaches to take care of that, especially on the O-line, because that's probably arguably the most important part of the trenches is that piece, protecting the quarterback, allowing the Shanahan offense to thrive. And Bob Bostad, he's like, I don't want to like single guys out, but probably the most important position coach that we have. And the fact that it was the one retainee from the Tom Allen staff is really awesome. And yeah, glad it worked out for us.
They asked Coogan about the difference between spring and summer, and he said we're not where we need to be at, which I love as an answer because you juxtapose that with the way Cignetti's talking about the offensive line, and he's pleased with the way it's coming along. And so if you have somebody like Pat Coogan who's not entirely 100% like satisfied with where they're at, it just fired me up, Brad. Like they're saying the right things every time. Every time.
I mean, we've seen pressers where they're not saying the right things, you know, got Kenny Dillingham calling out his team, Rich Rod calling out his team. Like, you just don't see that at Indiana. Just, I'm sure it might happen at some point.
Sig will
might have a bad practice. Sig might come out and say, I think he did it last year too.
Well, he will use his presser strategically, and he did actually in his most recent presser mention that Tyreek Tucker wasn't playing up to his standard in the spring, and said he's come back in a major way in the fall, which has been reflected by a bunch of guys. They asked Pat Coogan who he's been impressed by. He said Wheeler, which was the big quote floating around last week, but he also said Reek, obviously, Rat, Kellen, and Steven as guys that are kind of jumping out at him. And then I'm sure it was like
Reek and Rat.
Reek and Rat.
I like that.
R squared in the middle there.
Reek and Rat. Yeah.
My conclusion was, how did Notre Dame let this guy walk? And I know the answer is going to be like, they had so much talent, and there's I don't know, man. Like, that's a very highly productive,
game. It's like you're just going off like it's really hard to self-evaluate.
You're going off of position rankings, and the highest rated offensive lineman is not always the best player. You saw that from all those Wisconsin offensive linemen. You look at the way Iowa builds their offensive line. Like, I'm sure they get 5 stars and such, but not all those dudes are like the highest rated guys. Like, to just basically toss aside somebody who played that much football for you and was an emotional leader is definitely a choice, and I'm glad they made it. I'm so thankful this guy's in our program. Like, it is. I can't believe they let him walk.
Self-evaluation is one of the toughest things. Like, you recruit all these guys, you make promises, and obviously there was a promise made to the other center to where he's going to be the starter this year if he did a certain amount of things, and clearly that's why Coogan had to hit the portal. And thank God he just goes, 3 out. How far is it? Like 2 hours south, down to Bloomington.
No, it's 4.
3. Like
it's
3.
4.
3.
No, it's 4. It's 4.
Call it 3.
It's 4.
It's 4 from my place right now. I'm not even close to South Bend.
Yeah, dude, it takes like.
We're not going to argue about it. Anyways,
it takes 2 hours to get to Purdue and another 2 hours from there to get to Notre Dame. I think somebody can check me in the chat. Yeah, they let Spindler walk too, who's a starting guard for them last year as well. So they obviously are really. They feel great about their offensive line if they could just let starters walk in the portal. So it's like, cool, we'll benefit from that.
Yeah, and Nebraska will benefit too. Good for them.
Good for Nebraska. Maybe
they need a win every now and then, All we do is shit on Nebraska. Now we just give him a little pat on the head right now. Oh, good job, Rocco Spindler. That's good stuff.
All right, PK says 3 hours with 69. All right, Brad wins. That's fine. Listen, I'll defend my opinion until I die, but there are certain hills that aren't worth dying on, and if I'm more than happy to admit when I'm wrong. Yeah, well, actually, no, it's funny. I have not been back since they completed. I haven't been back in Bloomington since they completed construction. 70? You can go 70 to Indy. What? Wow.
I didn't even know that. That's huge.
That's an absolute game changer.
Not that I was, not going 70 before, but
shout out to the people of Indiana. Oh my God. Like that, you want to talk about something that was much needed, highly necessary. I'm about to cry tears of joy for this. That's crazy.
I mean, it's the race capital of the world,
No, I'm aware.
They got going fast.
And every time I got on and off a plane there, I had to go 40 miles an hour to Indy. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible.